If you are a laptop user with 512 gig internal storage, you will soon run out of storage. Of course, you can use external drives, USB flash to, run things, but the frustration of that will also grow till you come to the realization that, I need to increase my laptop or PC internal storage so I can do more. Now, if you come to that conclusion, then this video is for you, because this video is where we show you the tools you need and the basic preparation before you think of, bringing a new hard drive to replace your old one. First, you don't want to start afresh to start, installing Windows and all your apps again. So you're going to need to clone the drive. Now, to clone that drive, you need to have a tool, at least in this case, it's an SSD. So you have to get an SSD enclosure. But there are different types of SSD we dealt with in the part 1 and things you need to know. Check out that part 1 video. In this one, we ordered a SSD enclosure, and from AliExpress, they combined all of our orders, and we have to now search to find the SSD enclosure as we go in to show you all the details you need before you clone your SSD, so you don't have any problem, moving from one storage to the other. So let's jump in with the fun part of finding the enclosure that we already ordered for. So the goal is to find our SSD case. So we're going to start with this. What is this? This is not a SSD case. So let's hope. Well, this one is phone casing. This one is USB-C. This one is phone casing. Well, let's try this one. Speaker. What is this? I mean, there's no name. They don't bother to letter this thing, so this has to find it out. Let's see what's inside. Oh, come on. And finally, this is what we are looking for. Damn, that took a while. So, if we're going to clone this, we're going to clone this 2 terabytes. We're going to need a case, and this is our RAM. So yeah, this is the RAM. Well, you guys can do better. Okay. Right on the case. Now, here is another very tricky part. If you're buying an SSD enclosure, you have to look out very careful, because there is M key, there is B key, there is B and M key, and beyond that, there is SSD enclosure that can only handle SATA. Yes, there is SATA SSD. And if you buy SATA SSD enclosure, like I did, is the cheapest one, I picked it, it would not work with NVMe SSD. So that is very important. All of them have the M.2 slot, which is 22 millimeter wide, but then it has to be a casing that can handle NVMe SSD, not SATA SSD. So there are two differences there. There is also a casing that can handle NVMe and will not handle SATA. So that's another one. That's a little bit cheaper. Then there is a casing that can handle NVMe and SATA SSDs. So if you slot it in, anyone will work, and that's the most expensive one. Well, this is very important because I have to go buy another casing, so I will be able to do this migration. So I don't want you to go into that trouble ever. I still had to unbox the SATA SSD enclosure and then have to test it with NVMe SSD. So remember, this was a SATA enclosure that was tested with NVMe SSD. So these are the things that you must know. I did it and connected it and it still didn't work. So you don't have to do that mistake. If you're buying SSD enclosure, make sure that you're getting NVMe if your SSD is NVMe, or SATA if your SSD is NVMe. Yes, M.2 has both SATA and NVMe. Well, because I'm a deal person, I have to get another one. Yes, I have to get another SSD enclosure that both supports NVMe and SATA, and this was the one I was able to clone the disk. Now it has both NVMe 2230, 2248, and then 2280, so it can support 3 different sizes of NVMe. I spoke about this in the previous video, the part 1, and that's it. The preparation. I of course went ahead to clone the disk, but that would be for the part 3. And make sure you subscribe to see that video. Subscribe. I'll see you.